Nithyanandam, and welcome everyone to today's session of Nithyananda Yoga, the most authentic yoga in the world, gifted to us by Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashiva. So before we start the session today, let us now invoke the presence of our Guru by chanting the Guru Vandana. Please come seated with your hands together in Anjali Mudra. Close your eyes and let us chant. Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvanvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. We will now continue with the Shivamoola mantra. Om Ham Haum Shivaya Namaha. Chanting this mantra internally 11 times. I will be chanting this mantra loudly, but you please follow along, chanting it internally. Om Ham Haum Shivaya Namaha. 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 Next, we move on to Tattva Chamanam, the ritualistic cleansing. Take a Panchapatram with Udarini and water as we start the ritual. Take one Udarini of water. Keep your right hands holding the index and thumb together and place 1 spoon of Udarini of water and take a sip. Om Atmatattvam Shodhayami Svada. Om Vidyatattvam Shodhayami Svada. Om Shivatattvam Shodhayami Svada. Wash your hands. Rub the lips with the base of your thumb twice. Wash your hands. Touch your upper lip with the 4 fingers. Lower lips. Wash your hands. Touch the left nostril. Right nostril, left nostril. Wash your hands. Bring the ring finger and thumb together. Touch your right eye, left eye, right ear, left ear. Wash your hands. Bring the little finger and thumb together. Touch your navel, right shoulder, left shoulder, top of the head, right shoulder and left shoulder. Now we will be moving on to the Sankalpa Mantra, the conscious resolution for the day. Here we are making the resolve for your yoga session or even the day, for your day, what you want to manifest, what you want to create as your reality for today. So Bring your left hand, place it on your right thigh, palm facing up, cup and close with the right hand. As we chant the Sankalpa mantra, sit up straight, please close your eyes. Om Mamopata Samasta Duritakshaya Dvara Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Prityartham Shri Nithyanandeshwari Paramashiva Shakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Prityartham Cha Adya Purvokta Evam Guna Visheshena Vishishtayam Asyam Shubhatitau पूरण आरोग्ययुक्त दृढ़गात्र यौगिक शरीर सिद्ध्यर्थम परम शिव शक्ति आविष्करणार्थम नित्यानंद योगाभ्यासम करिष्ये. Take a drink of water. Wash your hands. Om Apaupaskrisya. Now place the Panchapatram away as we get ready to move to the Panchama Vinyasa Krama. The 900 series, we are going to be completing the 1000 asanas today. So let us get ready. Now before we begin, a quick reminder. Today's yoga practice is for general wellness and education only. Please listen to your body and practice within your own limits. If you have any injuries, medical conditions or are pregnant, please consult your healthcare professional before practicing. If at any point you feel pain, dizziness or discomfort, gently stop and rest. Okay, let us now get started. We will first begin with some warm-up before we move to the asanas. So please come up standing. We start with the ankle rotations. So please raise your right leg and rotate your ankle 8 times in the clockwise direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Now raise your left leg, rotating the left ankle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then the counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Now bringing your hands to your knees, slightly bend your knees and rotate the knees clockwise direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring your hands to your hips. Spread your legs apart, making wide circles with your hip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now bringing your hands to your shoulder, make wide circles with your elbow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Now, the neck rotation is bring your hands to your hips. Rotate your neck gently, slowly, 8 times in the clockwise direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Now stretch your arms forward with the fist and rotate your wrist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now with your left hand, palm facing to the front, press gently, pull your fingers back with your right hand, palms facing down, press, pull them back. Now with the palm facing towards you, pull it back. Now with your right hand, palm facing up, pull your fingers back. Palm facing down, pull them back towards you. Now with the palm facing towards you, pull them back. So relax. Now we are going to move on to the skeleton dance. Here you are going to visualize yourself as a pure skeleton, no muscle, no skin, just pure skeleton. As you visualize, intensely shake your body, move your arms, your limbs in random movements. Just loosely allow your body to move. Close your eyes. Continue to have the visualization of yourself as a skeleton. This completely integrates your being. So, come on, let us start. Move your legs, arms, shoulders, back, rotate. Just move intensely and continue to keep the visualization as a skeleton. Shake your body, shake your limbs, no rhythmic movement. Just move your arms, move your limbs. Random movements. Completely relax, move your body intensely. Okay. Relax. Now slowly walk back and forth on your mat. And relax. Okay, now you're ready to move to the asanas. Now please come seated with your legs stretched in front of you as we begin with the Dandasana. Trini. Stretch the legs open in front of you, extended in front of you. As we move on to the first asana for today, the Dandasana Trini. In this asana, from a seated position, extended both legs straight out in front of you. Place your hands beside the hips with palm pressing down or into the ground. So your palms facing down. Engage your thighs. Flex your feet and lengthen your spine upward as you gaze steady and straight ahead. And hold the Shambhavi Mudra. Keep the eyes open and steady gazing outward while awareness rests deeply within. In Samavritti, inhaling through the nose and exhale evenly. Hold the Mula Bandha by clenching the perineum, the muscles of the pelvic floor, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. The Danda Asana Trini is from the Yoga Chintamani. Relax. Now we move on to Gudasana, the perineum pose. Here from a seated position, come on your knees keep the tops of your feet down and cross one foot over top of the other of the sole of the opposite foot. Keep your sitting bones directly above the top heel and keep your spine tall, balanced evenly. Rest your hands on top of your respective thighs. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, keeping the eyes open and steady gazing outwards, and Samavriddhi and breathing evenly. Hold the Mula Bandha, contracting the perineum, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Gudasana. Relax. Next is Gokilasana, the cowherd pose. Continuing to remain seated in this position. Keep the tops of your feet down, cross one foot over the top of the opposite foot. Rest your sitting bones directly above the top heel and keep your spine tall, balanced exactly. Now here, we are going to rest our hands on either side of your hips. Elbows wide and chest open. And hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavriddhi in the breath and Mula Bandha contracting the muscles of the pelvic floor and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Moving on to the next asana, Anava Tinayai Asana, primordial stance pose. Here we are going to come seated in Padmasana. Bring your left foot on your right thigh and right foot on your left thigh. Lengthen your spine upward. Cross your arms in front of you, grasping the opposite heels with each hand. Grasping the opposite heels, not the toes. Heels with your opposite hands. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, keeping the eyes open and steady gaze. Here, our breath will be in Prakriti Kumbhaka, sucking the air with the loud Va sound and holding it, as known as the Prakriti Kumbhaka. So making the sound Va in your mouth as you breathe in and hold the Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. Relax. Now we are moving on to Pranasana Dve, breath pose 2. So continuing to remain seated in Padmasana, this time we are going to bring the hands in Bindu Mudra and resting them on the respective knees. Here, our breath We'll be inhaling deeply through both the nostrils, filling the lungs completely. Exhale forcefully through the nose to short bursts like bellows stoking a fire, engaging the abdominal muscle to pull the navel inward and upward with each expulsion. So you're going to be having the Bhastrika Kumbhaka. So you're going to inhale slowly and exhale forcefully through your nostrils. So continue the breathing and hold the Mula Bandha, clenching the perineum, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Moving on to Jwala Padmasana, the flaming lotus pose. So continuing to sit in Padmasana. This time raise both your arms upright and bring your hands up, straight up, and like the flames. So extending the arms up, holding the Shambhavi Mudra and Prakriti Kumbhaka, sucking the air with a Va sound, and hold the Mula Bandha and chant the mantra Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. Relax. Now we are moving on to Sarvangasana Dve, all limbs pose. So here from Padmasana, place each foot onto the opposite thigh. Now lay on your back with your arms resting alongside your body, palms pressing gently onto the ground. Lift the legs up and guide your hips off the mat, supporting your lower back with your hands as you come into Sarvangasana. Press through your shoulders and upper arms to lift the chest, keeping the neck long and breathe steady. And hold the posture with balance and control while you hold the Shambhavi Mudra with your eyes open and steady gaze, and Prakriti Kumbhaka making the Va sound as you breathe in, and hold the Mula Bandha, clenching the perineum, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So from Padmasana, lay on your back and gently raise your hips, use your hands for support and raise your hips. Or you can lift your legs up and then come into Padmasana. Relax. In Sarvangasana Dve. Come up seated. Now we are moving into Spurita Padmasana, jumping lotus pose. In this asana, seated in Padmasana, quickly raise your arms out to the sides at an angle and hands making a fist. So raising arms to the side, raising up and holding in fist. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra with your eyes and Antaranga Kumbhaka. Quickly and forcibly inhale through the nose. Hold the breath for a short while and then slowly release through the nostril. Clench your perineum in Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Spurita Padmasana. Relax. Moving on to Dhurma Nata Asana, burden bearing Lord's pose. Continue to remain seated in Padmasana. Place each foot on the opposite thigh and place your hands on the top of the perineum with your elbows straight, keeping your spine straight and chest upright. Keep your hands in front of you. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Bhastrika Kumbhaka. So inhale and exhale forcefully through the nose, keeping the breath strong yet even. So that is Bastrika Kumbhaka. Clench the perineum in Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. From here we move on to Mutti Rayil Meru Asana, Mount Meru Seal Pose. Remain seated in Padmasana. Bringing your hands, place your hands on the respective knees. Visualize yourself as a great Mount Meru. Engage the Mula Bandha to activate the inner heat, keeping your spine perfectly upright. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Bastrika Kumbhaka, inhaling and exhaling forcefully, and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Moving on to Shavasana, steady pose. Remaining in the seated position in Padmasana, lengthen your spine. Relax your shoulders as you ground through your sitting bones. Rest your palms gently on the respective knees. Keep your chest open and breath steady. Settle into this posture with a sense of ease, stability, and quiet focus. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Bastrika Kumbhaka, and Mula Bandha, chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Next is Madhyasanam, middle seated pose. Sitting in Padmasana. Now gently cup your hands on your lap, left palm cradling the right, thumbs lightly touching to form a soft circle. Let your gaze rest down. So bringing the hands together to form a circle. Let your eyes rest downward or close your eyes, breathing slowly as you root through your sitting bones and lift the crown of your head. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Bastrika Kumbhaka, inhaling and exhaling forcefully, contracting the muscles of the pelvic floor in Mula Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now we move on to Upadhanasana. Upadhanasana, the pillow pose. Here, we're going to start laying on your back with your spine long, shoulders relaxed. Extend one leg straight out along the ground while guiding the other leg up and behind your head. Keeping your movements slow and controlled, allow the lifted leg to settle comfortably as your hips and lower back adjust. Rest your hands by your side with palms down for support and maintaining steady breath. Here we will be holding the Shambhavi Mudra in our eyes. Ujjayi Kumbhaka, with a gentle breath, slightly contracting the throat, draw the breath slowly in through the nostrils, producing the sound of the ocean. Hold the Mula Bandha, clenching the perineum, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So extending one leg forward, raise the other foot, bring it behind your neck and gently come down, laying down on the floor. So, and bringing the other foot behind your head and with your arms stretching on the floor. Slowly come up. In Upadhanasana. Now we are going to repeat the Upadhanasana, the pillar pose with the other foot. So if you had brought the right foot behind your neck, this time you relax the right leg Stretch, extend the right leg and bring the left leg above and behind your neck. In Upadanasana, holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Moola Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now we are moving on to Yoga Nidrasana Purvanga, the yogic sleep pose, preliminary. Now continue to laying on your back with your legs extended. Bend your knees and bring both your feet up and cross behind your head. Interlace your hands beneath your sitting bones at the base of your spine, pressing firmly for support. Keep your back and legs parallel to the ground with your head gently dropped back and your gaze directed upward. Hold the Parashu Mudra, interlacing your fingers, and Ujjayi Kumbhaka in your breath, making the sound of the ocean, clenching your perineum in Moola Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So in this asana, you're going to bring both legs behind, both feet behind your head. So laying on the floor, lift your hip and bring both feet behind your head. Then slowly come up. Relax. Now we are moving on to the Markatasana Trini, the monkey pose 3. Here, laying back on the floor, this time raising both legs up. Start laying flat on your back on the ground and extend your legs straight out with your feet gently, resting gently. So actually your feet would be straight facing up towards the sky. So then, quick energetic motion, swiftly both legs straight up. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra and Samavriddhi in your breath, even breathing. Jalandhara Bandha, tucking your chin to the chest and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So laying laying on the floor with your feet on the ground, swiftly, gently move your feet up and raise your leg up to the air. So this swift motion makes the Markata Asana. So laying on the floor, quickly raise your legs up into the air. So, you will not be raising the hip, just your feet come up straight. Relax. Next, we are moving on to Kabandasanam, trunk pose. Now, from a seated position, extend your feet straight out in front of you with heels slightly lifted off the ground. Lean back slightly, keeping your chest lifted and shoulders off the floor. Rotate your upper body gently to one side, engaging your core and maintaining balance with your hands above the ground on the side of your twisted torso. Now hold the position steadily and hold the Shambhavi Mudra with your eyes open and steady gazing. Samavriddhi in your breath, clenching the perineum and Moola Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So here, stretching the legs out in front of you, slightly lifted off, the heels are slightly lifted off the ground. Now turn your body slightly towards the other side, to one side, hands on the floor, turns towards your right side. In the Kabandasanam, the trunk pose. Now we are going to repeat the Kabandasanam in the other side. So if you had turned towards your right, now keep your heel slightly off the ground, turn towards your left and with a steady gaze on the left side. Holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavriti in your breath, Mula Bandha clenching the perineum and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. The Kabandasanam is from Hatha Ratnavali. Next we move on to Buddha Adharasana, Wise Embrace Pose. Now from a supine position, bend your knees and place your feet flat on the ground, close to your hips. Rest your shoulders and the crown of your head lightly on the floor. Interlace your fingers around your ankles or lower legs and press through the feet to lift your head upward, arching your back naturally. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavriti in your breath, Mula Bandha clenching the perineum, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So laying down on the floor with the feet flat on the ground, holding the feet with your ankles with both your hands, gently raise your hip and your chest off the floor and hold the posture. Relax. In Buddha Adharasana, the Wise Embrace Pose. Now remaining in the same position, we are going to move to the next asana, Grivasanam, the neck pose. In Grivasanam, you are going to lift your chest and your hands off from the floor, completely remaining on your feet and your head, resting the head. So cross your arms. So basically, you're going to, from the lying position on your back, bend your knees and place your feet flat on the ground with the back of your head resting lightly on the floor. Cross your arms over your chest and lift your hip upward, creating an arched back. As you rise, tilt your head back, bringing the weight onto the crown of your head so that only your feet and head touch the ground. Engage your legs and core to maintain stability, keeping your chest open and spine arched. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavriti, Mula Bandha, and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now as we perform these asanas, please be gentle with your body and do only the asanas that you are able to comfortably do. So please don't do asanas which you are unable to. Please be careful and gentle and aware of the asanas that you are able to do comfortably. So here, laying on the floor, lifting your head, lifting your chest and bringing the arms up, resting on your chest and bring the crown of the head below on the floor and hold the asana. So as we perform these asanas, it is not just the physical postures or movement. Along with this, our visualization, our breath, and the bandha we hold, the mudra we are holding, and the japa that we are chanting internally, all of these are performed simultaneously. So keeping the awareness to breathe, holding the bandha, holding the mudra as we perform each one of these asanas. Relax. Now we are moving on to Chakrasana Chatur, the wheel pose 4. In Chakrasana, from a supine position, bend your knees and place your feet flat on the ground near your hips. Place your hands on the floor beside your head, fingers tips pointing towards your shoulders. Press onto the hands and feet to lift your hip and chest upward, coming onto the crown of your head briefly, and straighten your arms and legs as much as possible to form an arch like a wheel. As you hold this position, hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavritti, Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So, laying on the mat, hands by your shoulder, on the floor, lift your hip above the floor in Chakrasana. In Chakrasana Chatur. Relax. Now we move on to Mrityu Banjaka Asana, death conquering pose. In this asana, we will lay supine with your body straight, raise one leg high and bring it forward. Position the sole of your foot to show its outer edge as per the traditional method. Keep the rest of the body relaxed, focusing to deliberate placement and control. Engage your core stability, maintain steady breath. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavriddhi, Mula Bandha, Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So laying on the floor, on the mat, bend your legs, bend your knees and hold the feet above. In Mrityu Banjaka Asana. Relax. Death conquering pose. Next we move on to Halahasana, Dve, flow pose 2. In Halahasana, from a seated position, lean back, bringing your back onto the ground, feet up, and this time you're going to bring the feet up and above your head. Lower your toes gently to the ground behind you, keeping your legs straight. Keep your hands flat onto the ground, bring your behind you slightly angled wide for support. With your hips high, lower your chin to lightly touch the upper chest. As you hold this position, we will be holding the Shambhavi Mudra in our eyes and Muchaka Kumbhaka. Muchaka Kumbhaka will inhale deeply through the nose, then back, then lock the chin to the chest in Jalandhara Bandha. So we will inhale deeply through the nose and lock the chin to the chest in Jalandhara Bandha. Hold the breath and slowly exhale through the nose. Okay, now we are going to move on to the asana. While chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, come laying down on the mat. Raise your hip and bring the feet above and top of your head and behind. So straighten your leg, bring the feet above and behind your head. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Murchita Kumbhaka, Jalantara Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Halahasana. Now we are going to move to Halahasana Trini. So continuing to remain in the flow pose. This time we are going to bring the hands together and holding them together. So instead of the arms stretched wide apart, this time you're going to bring the hands together and holding them in Halahasana Trini. Parashu Mudra. So the fingers are interlaced, holding the Murchika Kumbhaka, inhaling deeply through the nose and then locking the chin to the chest in Jalandhara Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Next, we are going to move on to Jwalasana Purvanga, the flame pose preliminary. Now from a seated position, lean back, bringing your back onto the ground, feet up and above your head. Keep your hips straight and above your shoulder and knees and ankles stacked in a vertical line. Slowly lower your toes gently to the ground behind you, keeping your legs straight. So this asana, we're going to come starting with laying on the back, lifting the entire body and raising the legs up, straight up. As you perform this asana, we will continue in the Shambhavi Mudra, Murchika Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha, tucking the chin to the chest and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So laying on your mat, gently lift your legs, lift your hip and straighten your legs. So shifting your weight to the shoulders and supporting your weight with your hands on the hips. So next is Jwalasana, the flame pose. So raising, continuing to remaining in the same position, supporting your lower back, your upper back actually with your hands and keeping the legs straight up. So keep your hips straight above your shoulder and knees and ankles stacked in a vertical line. Place your hands on your lower back and hold. This time our mudra is changing to Kechari Mudra, turning the tongue gently back and upward into the hollow of the mouth. So turning the tongue and back upward into the hollow of the mouth. In Murchika Kumbhaka, inhaling deeply through the nose and chin to the chest in Jalandhara Bandha and holding and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now we are moving on to Trishulasana Purvanga, the trident pose preliminary. In Trishulasana Purvanga, we are going to, from the seated position, lean back so your back rests on the ground and lift your feet overhead. Keep your hips aligned above your shoulders and bend your knees outward, bringing the soles of your feet together and above your center. Bring your palms together with fingers pointed upward above your groin and balance evenly as you on your upper shoulder blades. So as we perform this asana, we will be bringing the hands together in Anjali Mudra, Murchika Kumbhaka and Jalandhara Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So laying on your back, raising your hips and bringing the feet together. And if you can, bring the arms in front and hold the Anjali Mudra. In Trishulasana Purvanga. Next, remaining in the same position in Trishulasana, trident pose. This time your hands are not in Anjali Mudra. We bring the hands to the knees, on the respective knees. So holding the same position, place your hands on your knees and balance evenly on your upper shoulder blades. Keep your chest lifted and core engaged as you straight your spine. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Murchika Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha, chant the japa, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next is Trishulasana Uttaranga, the trident pose progression. So remaining in the same position. Now bring your palms together with fingers pointed upward and in Anjali Mudra, Murchika Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha and Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham as a chant, as a japa. Now moving on to Jwalasana Uttaranga, flame pose in progression. So here from the same position, you're going to straighten your legs up and straighten your arms and with the arms by the side of your body. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Murchaka Kumbhaka and Jalandhara Bandha. So basically this time we're going to straighten our legs and arms vertically up. So do as comfortably as you can and support your lower back if you need to. Straighten your legs and straighten your arms. So if you're able to breathe, straighten your arms and by the sides of your legs. Relax. From here, we are moving on to Halahasana Dve Purvanga, the plow pose 2. So now moving your legs, your feet behind, above and behind your head onto the floor. Now your hands are interlaced behind your neck, behind your head for support, and legs are stretched behind, above on the floor. Now as we perform this asana, holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Murchaka Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So come back on the floor. Raise your legs and bring them above and behind your head or back to the floor. And bring your hands behind your head for support. Relax. Now Halahasana Dve Uttaranga, the plow pose 2 progression. So from the Halahasana, the current position, you will bend your knees and wrap your arms around your thighs beneath your knees and gently pull them towards your shoulders and down towards the ground. So here our hips remain high. This time, instead of keeping the legs straight above, behind the head, you will gently bend the knees and try to hug them behind the hands. You will be holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Murchaka Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. We will be moving on to Tadaki Mudrasana, pond-like seal pose. So lay supine, legs stretched together and stretch your arms overhead, interlace your fingers. Keep your palms facing up. Exhale, fully draw navel inward and upward in Udhyana Bandha. Holding the breath, maintain hollow abdomen like a pond. When you can no longer comfortably hold, relax. So hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavriddhi, even breathing, Mula Bandha, clenching the perineum, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So laying on the mat, extend your arms above your head and palms facing up, and making the hollow with your abdomen. Relax. Moving on to Pavana Muktasana Dve, the wind release pose. So here, lay back on the floor and lay on the floor. Bend your knees, bringing to your chest, and hug your knees with your arms. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavriddhi, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, holding the clenching the perineum in Mula Bandha. So hold the asana by bending the knees and arms around. In Pavana Muktasana Dve. Relax. Now we are moving on to Uttanasana Dve, intense stretch pose. So here, lay on your back with your knees together. Bring your knees up into the navel while wrapping your arms around your neck. Rock gently back and forth, keeping your body relaxed yet engaged. Maintain steady breath and focus, embodying surrender and core activation. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavriddhi, Mula Bandha, and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So, bringing the arms behind your neck. Relax. Next is Kurmasana Pancha, the total pose 5. Here, from a seated position on your knees, keep the toes of your feet flat on the ground outside of your hips. Slowly lean back as you bring your hands to the soles of your feet and thumbs onto your big toes. Rest your elbows on the ground behind you and tilt your head backwards, gazing behind you. Keep your chest up and spine long. So here, starting kneeling with your feet flat on the ground. Slowly come back down. And hold the position. As you hold this asana, hold the Kurma Mudra. Draw the senses inward, becoming still and withdrawn like a tortoise. In Samavriddhi, inhaling and exhaling evenly, hold the Mula Bandha, clenching the perineum, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Kurmasana Pancha. Next, we move on to Kurmasana Pancha Purvanga. This time, you're going to bring the hands to support your lower hips, to your hips. So, keeping the same position, hands up to your lower back, just above the hips. Tilt your head back and bring the crown of your head onto the ground. So, remaining in the same position, bring the crown to the floor and support your lower back with your hands. Holding the Kurma Mudra, Samavriddhi, Mula Bandha, and Japa is Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next is Chakra Uttaranga, the wheel progression pose. So here, From a seated position on your knees, bring your hands on the ground behind you. Slowly bring your elbows onto the ground and then hands up to the lower back, then just above the hips. Tilt your head back, bring the crown of the head to the ground, keeping the hips high and back arched. Hold this position and avoid putting too much stress onto the back or your neck, on the back of your neck. So, then from the hips, now we were holding on the hips, now bringing the hands down to support, hold this position and avoid putting stress. From there, relax, release the hands and hold on to the top of your feet as you intensify the bend in your back. So in this asana, starting from a seated position, come back down as you bring the head down. Now from here, lift the hips and support with your hands. Raise as high as possible, raising your chest, raising your legs, your hip, and so bringing the hand to the floor. So do the asanas as comfortably as you can, as much as you can. Chakra Uttaranga. Now moving on to Kurmasana, Pancha Uttaranga. So intensifying the stretch. Now in the same position, instead of your hand holding onto the feet, you're going to stretch, extend the arms and bring the hands stretch holding onto your thighs. So it's an intense asana. So please do only as comfortably as much as you can. Again in this asana we will be holding the Kurma Mudra, Samavriddhi, Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. We are moving to Manjani Kasana, the purifying pose. Manjani Kasana. So here, from a seated position on your knees, tuck your toes and rise off of your sitting bones, keeping your hips and spine upright. Place both palms together in Anjali Mudra at the heart center. Maintain soft gaze or closed eyes. Hold the pose for several breaths. Exit by lowering your hands and sitting back. So holding the Namaskara Mudra with your hands, Samavriddhi, inhaling evenly. Inhale and exhale evenly. Hold the Mula Bandha and chant the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Toes tucked behind and holding the Namaskara Mudra. Next is Shashangasana, the rabbit pose. So from a seated position on your knees, keep the tops of your feet flat on the ground. Bring the crown of your head down onto the ground in front of you with an arched spine. Reach backward to your feet and grasp your respective heels. Inhale, lift hips and exhale from towards your knees. So hold the Shambhavi Mudra and Samavriddhi with your breath. Jalandhara Bandha, tucking your chin to the chest and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So here, feet flat on the ground, the hips are raised up. Bring the head to the floor and bring the arms behind you. Behind your feet and hold the feet. The hips are high, raised up. Relax. Next, Yanasana, the vehicle pose. From a seated position on your knees, place your hands in front of you and bring your chest and groin onto the ground, laying prone. Extend both legs straight and hands next to your thighs. Lift your chest and upper thighs off the ground and hold firm. Back upright and focus turned inward. So laying on the floor, lift with the arms by your side. Lift your chest and lift your thighs off the floor. As we perform this asana, hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. From here, you are moving on to New Jasana, Dve, the face down pose. So from this position, from where you are, bend your knees and bring your hands behind you, holding on to the respective foot, respective ankle. So laying face down on the floor, cross your heels and with your hands firmly grasp the toes. Begin a gentle rolling motion while holding the toes, engaging Mula Bandha, maintaining steady gaze. So Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean, hold the Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Next is Mandukasana Dve, the frog pose 2. So here, remaining in the same position, from a prone position, extend your hands behind you and bend your knees and clasp your respective toes, respective feet. Keep your elbows upright and gently pull them and press down onto the heels towards the ground outside. Hold the Manduki Mudra, closing the mouth and subtly move the tongue towards the root and savoring the nectar. Hold the Ujjayi Kumbhaka with your breath, Mula Bandha, chant the Japa, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So this time we are going to press the feet towards the floor. So remaining in the same position that you were in the previous asana, lifting your chest, try to press your feet towards the floor. Relax. Now we are moving on to the next asana, Mandukasana Dve Purvanga, the frog pose to progression. This time you are going to pull, as you are holding the feet, now pull your feet, raise your chest up and raising up. So from the prone position, extend your hands behind you and bend your knees so you can clasp onto your respective feet. With a firm grip, lift your feet upwards, pull the toes towards your back of your head, and as you raise your chest up off the ground, hold yourself steady in this position as you gaze towards the ground. Hold the Manduki Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So from this position, hold the respective feet and lift up. Raise your thighs off the ground and chest off the ground. Relax. Now we are moving on to the next asana, Mandukasana Dve Uttaranga, the frog pose 2. So from this position, you are going to raise your feet and bring above by your face. So the feet are brought in by the side of your face. So we can see this asana here. So in Mandukasana Dve Uttaranga. Relax. As we move on to the next asana, Samstarakasana, strewing pose. So start laying on your left side and draw your knees in towards your chest, settling on into a gentle fetal position. Place your left elbow on the ground and rest the side of your head onto the left palm for support. Allow your right hand to extend and relax onto the right thigh. Keep your body soft and your breath slow as you rest comfortably in this posture. And holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So resting on your elbow, supporting your head and bringing your feet and having the arms extended out, resting onto your thighs. Now we move on to the Samstarakasana Parshvantare, the strewing pose repeated, now on the right side. So we just did on the left side. Now you will be laying down on the right side, supporting your head with your right palm. Relax. Now we are moving on to Dakshinasana Dve, southern facing pose. So this time extend your legs. Extend your legs and resting on the right side. So start by laying down on your right side. Place your right elbow on the ground and rest the side of your head onto the right hand. Place your left hand on the left side of your body. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. From here we are moving on to Bhujangasana Dve, the Cobra pose. So laying flat on your stomach, raise, now this time bringing the hands on the floor, palms facing down. Lift your chest and lift your feet above the ground into a deep arch and raise both legs straight up behind you. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham and holding the Mula Bandha. So here, just on the floor, palms by your chest, raise your feet and raise your chest. Bhujangasana Dve, the Cobra pose 2. From here, we are going to move on to Patangasana, the moth pose. So this time, we are going to bring the hands by your hips, palms facing down to the floor and feet extended straight behind. You're not going to lift your legs, just laying on your stomach, hands by your side, arms by your side, hands facing down and stretching. So feet on the ground, you're not raising the feet off the floor. Rest your forehead gently on the ground. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Laying gently, palms facing down. Inhale. So holding the Patangasana. Relax. Now we are going to move to Ustrasana Trini Purvanga, the camel pose 3 preliminary. So here, come down in the kneeling position, feet flat and extend, kneeling forward and extending your arms by your head, side of your head. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Next we move on to Dhamaka Asana, kindling pose. In Dhamaka Asana, we start seated and bring your knees together, bending them to draw your heels close to your perineum. Place your hands in the respective knees and keep heels flat on the ground. As you keep your chest upright and gaze forward, take deep inhalations through the nose and forcefully exhale out of the mouth as you kindle the Kundalini Shakti. And the mudra we are holding here is the Shakti Chalana mudra. Awaken the base energy with steady intent, drawing prana inward. Antaranga Kumbhaka, taking forceful exhalation and holding the Mula Bandha Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Dhamaka Asana, the kindling pose. Now we are moving on to Chala Asana, moving pose. Here, continuing to remain in the same position, cross your arms and top of the legs and hold the opposite arms. In this asana, hold the Shambhavi Mudra Apakarshaka Kumbhaka, partially closing the nose while performing the inhalation and exhalation. Jalandhara Bandha Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, we move on to Kalanga Asana, the stalk pose. So, continuing to remain in the same position, this time bringing your hands to keep your heels on the ground. Place your index fingers over the respective ears, sealing off all the sound, and hold the Shambhavi Mudra. So, while we are doing this, as you tilt your head down and gaze towards the nose. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. From here we are moving on to Brahmanandasana, the Supreme Bliss pose. Here, start seated, bring knees together, bending them to your chest. Place your arms underneath the thighs and hold the opposite elbows. Raise the heels up off the ground and keep chest upright and gaze to the nose. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. We are moving on to Vilapa Asana, lamentation pose. Here, start seated, bring your knees together, bending them to draw your heels close to the perineum. Place your arms underneath your thighs and interlace the fingers in front of the belly. Raise heels up off the ground, chest upright and gaze forward. Hold the Parasha Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Vilapasana. Next, we are moving on to Dhumaka Asana, smoke producing pose. Remaining in the same position. Now bring your hands to one side of your buttocks and to hold the ankles. And keep your palms turned upward as they rest on the ankles. Maintain an upright chest and hold the posture steadily and a balanced gaze. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka and Mula Bandha, Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Dhumaka Asana. Next, we are going to repeat the Dhumaka Asana on the other side. Dhumaka Asana, Parshvantare, smoky force pose on the other side. So now bring your hands to the other side. Keep your palms turned upward as they rest on the ankles. Maintain an upright chest. Now bringing to the left side and Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, Pitasana Dve, platform pose 2. In this asana, from a seated position, bend both knees towards your chest. Keep your feet flat on the floor. Place your palms gently on the knees and spine lifted, chest open. Align your hips and knees evenly. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra. Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. We're moving on to Kanakai Asana, Golden Pose. Start on your toes and knees. Raise knee off the ground. And keep sitting bones on the back heels. Wrap your arm around your back with palms facing outwards. Bring your forehead down towards the ground. Keep your spine long and breath steady for stability. So here, raising, coming on your toes, bend forward, wrap your arms around and bend them behind your back. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha by tucking your chin to the chest and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. From here we are moving on to Charma Goswasi Asana, leather work saint pose. So start seated, bring knees together, bending them to draw the heels close to the perineum. Cross your arms on the top of the legs, hold the opposite arms. Keep the heels flat on the ground and pull your chest to the knees as you gaze to the nose. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. From here we are moving on to Granthi Harasana, the knot removing pose. In this asana, start seated with your feet flat on the ground in front of you and your knees together. Wrap your arms around your knees, drawing them inward to your chest. Lift your feet off the ground and allow them to flare out to the side. So holding onto the knees, allow the feet to spread and flare out, raising off the floor. So spread as wide as possible, then shoulder width while keeping the knees firmly together. Engage your core, maintain steady breath as you balance and hold the posture. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So holding your knees, spread the feet. Spread wider than your hips. Relax as we move on to the next asana, Vakra Shurasana Purvanga. Vakra Shurasana Purvanga, the curved knife pose preliminary. Here, start seated with your knees bent and slide your feet above towards your groin. Twist your upper body towards one side and clasp your hands behind your back. So, shifting your body towards one side and bring the arms behind and clasp the hands behind. Keep your sitting bones grounded and spine tall as you twist your neck and gaze towards the open shoulder. As we hold this asana, hold the Vaishnavi Mudra, holding the outer vision steady without blinking and holding the Apakarsha Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now we are moving on to Vakra Shurasana, the curved nice pose repeated on the. So now bend your left foot and place it over the right thigh. Now we are going to bend your left foot, place it over your right thigh. Hook your right arm around the front of your right knee, reaching behind your back. Grasp your left wrist firmly to secure the bind. Twist your torso sharply to the left like a dagger. Begin drawn from its sheath. Hold the Vaishnavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Moving on to the next asana, Vakrasura Uttaranga. Vakraksura Uttaranga, curved knife pose progression. So in this asana, place your right foot over the left thigh, bending the knee outward. Press your right armpit firmly against the left knee, creating a secure hook. Rotate your torso to the left, using your bind to deepen your twist. Hold here to establish the foundation. Controlled breathing. and holding the Vaishnavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Parameshivoham. Next, we are moving on to Marajidasana, the death conquering pose. Start seated with your spine upright, hips grounded, and place your left foot onto the right hip, placing the knee to relax downward. Bring your right foot flat onto the ground outside of your left knee for stability. Bring your hands together in Namaskara Mudra in front of your chest. So bringing the right foot down on the ground, bring the hands together in Namaskara Mudra and balance in this position. So Namaskara Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Parameshivoham in Marajidasana. Next, we are moving on to Kaksasanam, armpit pose. Here, from a seated position, bend one knee, place the foot flat onto the ground. Draw the opposite foot up towards you and press it firmly into the armpit of the same side. So you are keeping the right foot on the floor. Bring the left knee, bend the left knee, and try to bring the left foot towards your armpit. So do it as much as comfortably as you can, and holding the foot here under the armpit. And holding the hand in Bindu Mudra on the other side. So hold the position as much as you can, and Apakarsha Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Parameshivoham. Next, we are moving on to Vakra Surangasana Purvanga Parshvantre, curved knife pose preliminary, repeated on the other side. So start seated with your knees bent and slide your feet towards the groin. Twist your upper body to one side, clasp the hands behind your back, straighten your arms and lift your chest as you draw your shoulder blades together. Keep your sitting bones grounded and spine tall as you twist your neck and gaze towards the open shoulder. Hold the Vaishnavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Parameshivoham. Next, Vakra Surasana Parshvantre, curved knife pose, repeated. Here, bend your right foot and place it over the left thigh. And reaching behind your back. Okay, left arm, front knee, and twisting to bring the right arm behind and try to clasp the fingers together. Twist your torso sharply to the right like a dagger being drawn from the sheath. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Parameshivoham. From here, we are moving on to Vakrakshurasana Uttaranga Parshvantre, curved knife pose, progression repeated on the other side. So place your left foot over the right thigh, bending the knee outward, press your left armpit firmly against the right knee and turning towards your left side and interlacing the fingers together, holding the Vaishnavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Parameshivoham. Relax. Now we are moving on to Marajidasana Parshvantre, death conquering force, repeated on the other side. So this time you are going to bring the opposite foot onto the thigh. So if you had brought the left foot onto the right thigh, this time bring the right foot onto the left thigh and bring the left foot outside of the right knee. Bring the arms together. Holding this position, bring the arms together, hands together in Anjali Mudra and the Namaskara Mudra, and hold the position still. In this position, chant the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, hold the Mula Bandha and Papakarshya Kumbhaka. Relax as we move on to the Kakasanam, Kakshasanam, Parshvantre, armpit pose repeated on the other side. So now we are going to bring the left foot onto the ground, bending the right knee, bring the right foot onto the right armpit, hold, bring to the foot to the armpit, hold, extend the left arm holding the Virga Mudra. Do this asana as comfortably as you can, as much as you can. So if you're not able to bring the armpit towards your, to the foot to the armpit, bring them at least towards the chest. Kakshasana. Next, we are going to move on to Gorakshasana Trini, Sage Gorakshas pose. So from a seated position, bring the soles of your feet together in front. Pull the heels up towards you and rotate the balls of the feet and toes onto the ground. Keep the knees wide and on the ground. Cross your hands in front of you, holding onto the opposite heels. Keep your spine elongated and gaze towards the third eye. Hold the Vaishnavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mulabandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next we are going to move on to Chanderi Asana, Fierce Goddess pose. Here, start seated, extend both legs straight out in front of you, keep the spine straight and chest upright, bring your right hand to your nose and seal the nostrils one side at a time with the thumb, ring finger for Nadi Shodhana. Inhale left, exhale right, exhale left, maintaining smooth breath flow. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Nadi Shodhana Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next we are going to moving on to the Uru Parvasana, thigh joint pose. Here we are going to come on to the kneel. So kneeling position, start kneeling upright with your heels down in close to your buttocks and your weight grounded through the shins. Lengthen your spine as you lift your chest and relax your shoulders. Bring your hands together in Namaskara Mudra in front of your chest, maintaining a steady gaze towards, keep your breath smooth. In Namaskara Mudra, lift your feet above the ground and bring towards your buttocks. So kneeling position, bring your arms together and raise your feet above the ground and bring towards your buttocks. So as much as you can, do it comfortably and bring the feet above the ground. Next we move on to Dvipada Parshvasana, 2-foot side pose. Here, start balancing on your knees with your spine tall and your core gently engaged. Rotate each knee inward, drawing the sole of the foot up towards the inner groin, so the outside edges of your feet press against the upper thigh. So keep your weight. So bring, core gently engaged, rotate each knee inward. So now we are bringing the feet up and outside, bringing the staying in the same position as you were before. This time, lifting your feet above the ground and bringing to the side of your body, side of your legs. Hold the Namaskara Mudra, Pratyahara Kumbhaka. In Pratyahara Kumbhaka, you will be inhaling deeply, holding your breath. While withdrawing your senses, bring your attention inwards as you hold as long as comfortably. Hold the Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, we are going to move on to Vicharanada Asana, Contemplation Lord Pose. So start seated on your knees. Pull one foot back onto the armpit and respective arm. Repeat with the opposite leg into its armpit. So squeeze the feet to the side of your body into the arms. So start seated, and from this position, you're going to fold your left leg and bring the feet towards the armpit. So do as much as you can. Similarly for the right side, bend the right leg, bring the feet to your armpit. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Pratyahara Kumbhaka and Mula Bandha, Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next is Achali Asana, immovable feminine pose. So here we are going to come on to Padmasana. Crossing your legs, bringing your right foot onto the left thigh and the left foot onto the right thigh. Come to a seated position. Cross the arms in front of the chest and hold on to the opposite elbows. Keep the spine tall, chest upright, gaze to your nose. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Pratyahara Kumbhaka and Mula Bandha, Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Achali Asana. Next we move on to Shruddhasana, firm pose. Sitting in Padmasana, this time you're going to bring your hands in Bindu Mudra and resting them on the respective knees. So holding the Bindu Mudra, placing them on the respective knees. Keep your spine erect like an unshakable pillar, hands resting on the knees in Jnana Mudra. And Shambhavi Mudra with your eyes open, steady gaze. Pratyahara Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, moving on to Siddhasana Pancha, accomplish pose 5. Here, from a seated position, sitting in Padmasana, lengthen your spine as you ground evenly through your sitting bones. Slide your hands beneath the respective thighs with the palms flat on the ground, allowing the thighs to rest on the backs of your hand. And keep your chest open, breath steady as you hold the posture with stability and calm focus. Hold the Vaishnavi Mudra with a steady gaze. And without blinking, Pratyahara Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Moving on to Vayu Dharanasana, the wind retention pose, sitting in Padmasana. Bring your hands on the respective knees, palms facing down. Consciously direct the prana downward and pull the Apana Vayu upward, allowing them to merge at the navel center. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Prakriti Kumbhaka. In Prakriti Kumbhaka, you will be sucking the air with a loud Va sound and holding it, known as the Prakriti Kumbhaka. Hold the Udhyana Bandha. Draw the abdomen inward to your spine and then lift it upward and chant the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now we are moving on to Nibjasana, chin block pose. So sitting in Padmasana with the hands resting on the respective knees, bring your chin to the chest in Jalandhara Bandha and internalize the primordial sound Om. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Pratyahara Prakriti Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next is Samyukta Padmasana, the entwined lotus pose. So sitting in Padmasana, this time you're going to bring the arms behind and hold the opposite toes. Actually, Interlace and bring the hands behind you and hold the toes from the behind. Samyukta Padmasana. In this asana, hold the Kechari Mudra, turn the tongue gently back, upward and onto the hollow of the mouth. And Shanta Kumbhaka. In Shanta Kumbhaka, you'll be inhaling and visualizing the prana vayu being inside and outside of the body. Hold the Mula Bandha and japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, we move on to Uttita Padmasana, the raised lotus pose. Here, sitting in Padmasana, hands placed by the side of your body. Now we are going to raise our hips and bring the weight onto the hands. So lift your body up and bring the weight onto the hands. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka. In Kevala Kumbhaka, you will be breathing to pass naturally, observe without forcing. Maintaining relaxed awareness, clenching the perineum in Mula Bandha and japa is Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, we move on to Latita Padmasana, suspended lotus pose. This time, instead of the hands being outside of the thighs, we are going to bring the hands inside between your thighs and lift up. Lift your weight, lift your feet off the ground in Lalita Padmasana. In this asana, we will be holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka, allowing the breath to pass naturally. Hold the Mula Bandha and japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Latita Padmasana. From here, we are going to move to Kampita Padmasana, the swinging lotus pose. This time, we are going to clench your hands into a fist and press the knuckles down onto the ground. So this time your palms are not flat on the ground. Instead, you're holding the fist and on your knuckles, and then raising your weight, lifting your hips off the floor as you gaze down towards the ground. So again, be gentle with your body and do only as comfortably as you can, and raise the body off the floor. So if you're able to form the knuckle, please do. Otherwise, try to do with your palm facing down. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, we are moving on to Kukutasana Trini. In the Kukutasana, from a seated position, sit tall with the both feet on the opposite thigh in Padmasana. Reach both hands through the legs and press the palms firmly onto the ground. Between them, shift your weight onto the arms and lift your body and engage the core to maintain the balanced and upright. So, bringing the palms down, raise your feet and hold the weight. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, we are moving on to Jalandhara Asana, throat lock pose. So now continuing to remain in the same position. Place your hands between the gap in your calves and thigh and press your hands down, lifting your body off the floor. This time we are going to hold the Jalandhara Bandha instead of the regular Bandha, instead of the Mula Bandha. Relax. Now we are moving on to Bandha Chuli Kukutasana, bound crested rooster pose. So sitting in Padmasana, now we are going to lean forward and bring the palms on the floor and lift your hips higher than the shoulder, keeping your back slightly angled as you gaze towards the ground in front of you. So instead of between the legs or side of the legs, this time you're going to lean forward, bringing the palms on the floor and try to raise your hip. So lean forward, try to lift your hips off the floor. So do as much as you can and try to lift the knees off the ground. Bandha Chuli Asana. See, now Padma Sarpasana. Now we are moving on to Padma Sarpasana. So again, From the seated position, sit tall with both feet on the opposite thigh in Padmasana. Inhale and press your hands down onto the ground in front of you, lifting your hips off the floor, bringing your knees all the way up, resting them on the back of your straightened arms. Keep your back parallel to the ground and gazing firmly down as you maintain your balance on the two hands. And this time, holding the Bhujangani Mudra, open the mouth wide and subtly draw the prana inward. And Kevala Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So this is Padma Sarpasana. Relax. So in Padma Sarpasana, so now we are moving on to the next asana, which is Parshva Kukkutasana, side rooster pose. So now remaining in the same position, now we are going to lift the weight, shift it to one side. So instead of straight lifting up the weight of the body, we're going to shift the weight to bring the body towards the right side of your right arm. In Parshva Kukkutasana, we will be holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. And we are going to repeat it on the other side. So repeating, shifting your weight to the other side of the body. Relax. Now we are moving on to Simhasana Chatwari, the lion pose 5. Here, sitting in Padmasana, place both hands on the ground in front of you. Rise onto your knees and gently bring your groin down onto the ground, resting your knees and thighs down with hands planted and arms straight. Open your chest and tilt your head back and holding a static position. So here we will be holding the Bhujangani Mudra, which is opening your mouth wide and subtly draw the prana inward. And the Kumbhaka is Antaranga Kumbhaka. Quickly and forcibly inhale through the nose and hold the breath for a short while, then slowly release through the nostrils. Holding the Mula Bandha, Japa is Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So here we are going to hold and lean forward. Lean as much as forward, bringing the groin to the floor and extending the tongue and breathing. Relax. In Simhasana Chatwari. Next we are moving on to Padma Sarpasana Purvanga, snaking lotus pose preliminary. So again in this posture we will be sitting in Padmasana. Place both hands on the ground in front of you. Raise onto your knees and then gently bring your groin down onto the ground, resting your chest all the way down. Resting your chest all the way down. Bring your hands to your back and place the palms together in Anjali Mudra. So bringing down in Padmasana as much as possible and bringing the arms behind in Anjali Mudra. Next, we are moving on to Tholangulasana, weighing scale pose. Here, from a seated position, sit tall with your feet on the opposite thigh in Padmasana. Lean back onto your elbows and place your palms facing upward and on your sitting bones as you raise your knees up towards the sky. So in Padmasana, and bring the knees up and hands by your side. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka, Mulabandha, Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now we are moving into Vakra Padmasana, arched lotus pose. So holding the Padmasana, lean back onto the floor and bring the hand holding onto the opposite toes. Holding the Prana Mudra, index and middle finger together, Kevala Kumbhaka and Moola Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So from here, leaning back onto the floor and holding the Padmasana. Bring your hands together and interlace and hold the opposite toes. Relax. Next, we move on to Parasvadana Asana. Parasvadasana. So, axe wielder's mirror pose. So, continuing to remain in the same position as you keep laying down in Padmasana. Bring your hands behind your head and rest one hand on top of the other. And hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka, Mulabandha. So continuing to remain in Padmasana, leaning back and bring the arms behind, bring the one arm hand on top of the other. Relax. Next, Parasvadasana, Parshvantre, axe wielder's pose, mirror repeated on the other side. So this time, remaining in the same position, just you're going to switch your hands, resting the right hand on the left side or the opposite hand from what you did the earlier asana. So hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka Mulabandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now we are moving on to the last asana of the sequence, Smashana Vasana, cremation ground dwelling pose. So come down, laying down, stretch your legs, stretch your arms by your side, completely relax. Just relax your shoulders. Relax your body. Palms facing up. Let your shoulders soften onto the mat. Place your hands comfortably at your sides of your body. Avoid tensing your jaw. Relax your jaw and hold your breath. In Sakshi Chalana Mudra, awaken the base energy with steady intent, drawing prana upward. Hold the Kevala Kumbhaka, allowing the breath to pass naturally. Clench your perineum in Mulabandha and continue to chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally in Smashana Asana. Gently rotate your ankles, your hands. Slowly bend your knees. Bring them to your chest. Hug them gently and rock side to side. And slowly come up to a seated position. Congratulations, each and every one of you have completed 1000 asanas in the last few days. So congratulations, each one of you did a wonderful job. Thank you all for joining. I hope you enjoyed the yoga sessions. If you have liked it, please like and share and subscribe. And if you'd like to get a deeper experience of the yoga asana, come register for Paramashivasena by scanning the QR code on the screen. To register and become part of the Paramashivasena program, a 30-day program completely offered free, now presently offered in Guinea-Bissau in West Africa and in KAILASA, Tiruvannamalai. So thank you all for joining in this journey of this 1000 asanas, and we hope to see you tomorrow 4 a.m. Eastern Time as we begin again with the first asana. Now let us offer our gratitude to Swamiji for gifting us with this beautiful Nithyananda yoga as we wake up during our most precious time of the day in tuning to the cosmic alignment. So thank you all for joining. Let us now offer our gratitude to Swamiji and chant the Purna mantra. Please sit up straight. Bring your hands together. Close your eyes. And let us chant. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Padukarpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Nithyanandam. Thank you everyone.